Tristan Cole stood in the rain outside the airport terminal, watching his delayed flight finally disappear into the grey sky without him. At 36, he ran a multinational investment firm, controlled billions in assets, and prided himself on never missing a flight until today. The business deal he'd been chasing for months had fallen through. His ex-fiancée had called to say she was engaged to someone else, and now he'd missed the last flight home. Stranded at this regional airport on a miserable rainy evening with nowhere to go, and no one waiting for him anyway. He stood there in his expensive suit getting soaked, too tired to care, when he heard a small voice beside him. "Excuse me, mister, are you lost too?" Tristan looked down to find a little boy, maybe 4 years old, standing in the rain clutching a worn teddy bear. He had curly brown hair plastered to his head from the rain, and his brown jacket was soaked through. He looked up at Tristan with worried eyes and pointed at the sky. "My daddy is in heaven now. He's up there with the angels. Do you see him?" Tristan followed the child's pointing finger to the dark clouds where his plane had disappeared. "I don't understand. My daddy died. Mommy says he's in heaven watching over us. I think maybe he's in those clouds." The boy lowered his hand and looked at Tristan with heartbreaking seriousness. "We're trying to get home, but Mommy's lost and her phone is broken, and we don't have money for a taxi. Can you help us?" Tristan's exhaustion vanished, replaced by immediate concern. "Where's your mother?" "She's over there." The boy pointed to a young woman in an airport security uniform standing near the terminal entrance, frantically searching the crowd. "She's really scared. I came to find help." Before Tristan could respond, the woman spotted them and ran over, relief flooding her face. "Lucas. Oh, thank God." She pulled the boy close, then looked at Tristan with a mixture of gratitude and anxiety. "I'm so sorry if he bothered you. He wandered off, and I couldn't find him." "He wasn't bothering me. He said you need help getting home." The woman, whose name tag read Officer Emma Ward, looked embarrassed. "My car broke down this morning, and I had to use my emergency cash to get a ride to work. I thought I'd have enough for a taxi home, but I miscounted. My phone died and I can't call anyone. We'll figure it out. I'm sorry Lucas troubled you." She was maybe 30, with blonde hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, exhaustion evident in her face. Her uniform was crisp despite the rain, and she held Lucas with the fierce protectiveness of a mother who'd already lost too much. "It's no trouble," Tristan said. "Where do you live?" "About 15 miles from here, but we'll manage. We can wait for the bus or something." "The last bus left 20 minutes ago," Tristan said, having checked himself. "And it's pouring. Let me drive you home." Emma shook her head firmly. "I can't accept that. You're a stranger. I don't even know your name." "I'm Tristan Cole. I just missed my flight. I have nowhere to be, and I have a rental car sitting in the parking lot doing nothing." He looked at Lucas, shivering in the rain. "Please, it's too cold and wet for him to be out here." Lucas tugged his mother's sleeve. "Mommy, I'm really cold, and I'm hungry. Can the nice man help us?" Emma's resistance crumbled as she looked at her son's face. "Okay, thank you. That's very kind." They hurried to Tristan's rental car, a luxury sedan that felt absurdly excessive, as he helped Emma buckle Lucas into the back seat. As he drove, following Emma's directions, the story emerged. Emma's husband had been killed in military service 18 months ago. She'd been left with a small life insurance payout that was slowly running out, a son to raise alone, and a job at airport security that barely covered their bills. Her car breaking down was just the latest in a series of financial disasters. "I'm doing my best," she said quietly, watching Lucas in the rearview mirror. "But sometimes it feels like I'm barely keeping our heads above water. Today was just a bad day. Tomorrow will be better. Tristan heard the determination in her voice, the refusal to give up despite overwhelming odds. He recognized it because he'd heard it in his own mother's voice years ago. "My mother raised me alone," he said, "after my father left. I remember her saying the same thing. Tomorrow will be better." And she was right. Eventually, it was. Emma's directions led them to a modest apartment complex in a working-class neighborhood. As they pulled up, Tristan noticed Emma's beaten-up car in the lot with a flat tire and what looked like engine trouble. "This is us," Emma said. "Thank you so much for the ride. You really saved us tonight." Lucas unbuckled himself and climbed forward between the seats. "Thank you, mister. You're very nice. Do you want to come have dinner with us? Mommy makes really good spaghetti." "Lucas, I'm sure Mr. Cole has plans," Emma said quickly. But Tristan surprised himself by saying, "Actually, I don't, and I love spaghetti." Emma looked at him skeptically. "You don't have to feel obligated." "I don't feel obligated. I feel interested in getting to know the brave little boy who asked a stranger for help, and the strong mother who's doing her best despite impossible circumstances." Emma studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "Okay, but I'm warning you. It's just basic spaghetti and sauce from a jar, nothing fancy." The apartment was small but spotlessly clean, decorated with photos of Emma's late husband and Lucas at various ages. While Emma cooked, Tristan played with Lucas, who showed him his toy cars and told him stories about his daddy, who was a hero. "Mommy cries sometimes when she thinks I'm sleeping," Lucas confided. "She misses Daddy. I miss him too. But I try to be brave for Mommy." Tristan felt his throat tighten. "You are brave, Lucas, very brave." Over dinner, Tristan learned more about Emma's situation. The car needed repairs she couldn't afford. Her landlord was raising the rent next month. She was working extra shifts to save money, but barely had time to sleep. "I'm sorry," Emma said, realizing she'd been talking about her problems. "You don't need to hear all this," I asked. Tristan said, "And I'm glad you told me." He paused. "Emma, I'd like to help, not as charity, but as someone who understands what it's like to struggle. I can't accept money from a stranger, then accept it from a friend. Or better yet, let me make you a business proposition." An idea had been forming in Tristan's mind all evening. "My company needs good people for security at our corporate offices. The pay is significantly better than airport security, with full benefits and predictable hours. If you're interested, I can arrange an interview." Emma stared at him. "Why would you do this?" "Because Lucas reminded me tonight that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is ask for help. And someone helped my mother once when she needed it. This is how I pay that forward." Over the next weeks, Tristan kept his word. Emma interviewed and got the security position at his company. The better pay and benefits allowed her to fix her car and stabilize her finances. Tristan found himself making excuses to stop by the security desk to check on Emma and Lucas. He took Lucas to his first baseball game. He helped Emma move to a better apartment. He showed up for Lucas's preschool graduation. Somewhere along the way, his visits stopped being about charity and became about connection. 6 months after that rainy night at the airport, Tristan took Emma and Lucas back to the same terminal where they'd met. As they stood outside looking at the sky, Tristan knelt down to Lucas's level. "Lucas, the night we met, you asked me if I could see your daddy in heaven. I couldn't then, but I want you to know something. I think your daddy sent me to help you and your mom that night. And if that's true, I want to ask him something now." Lucas's eyes went wide. "What?" Tristan looked at Emma. "I want to ask his permission to love you both, to be part of your family, not to replace him, because he'll always be your hero. But to be here every day, helping and loving and being there. Emma's hands went to her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Lucas thought seriously for a moment, then looked up at the sky. Daddy, this is my friend Tristan. He's really nice and he makes mommy smile and he plays cars with me. Is it okay if he stays with us? In the silence that followed, a plane broke through the clouds, its lights bright against the darkening sky. Lucas pointed excitedly. Look, Daddy sent us a sign. That means yes. Tristan stood and took Emma's hand. I love you. I love Lucas. I know this is fast and complicated, but I've never been more certain of anything. Emma pulled him close. That night at the airport, I thought I'd hit rock bottom, but you showed me that sometimes when we're at our lowest, that's when grace finds us. A year later, they were married in a small ceremony with Lucas as the ring bearer. In his toast, Tristan told the story of a little boy standing in the rain, pointing at heaven, asking for help. Lucas taught me that night that courage looks like a child asking a stranger for assistance. That strength looks like a mother doing her best with impossible odds. That love looks like saying yes when someone offers help, and offering it when someone needs it. He looked at his wife and son. Thank you for letting me help you. Thank you for helping me find what I was missing. Thank you for showing me that family isn't just what we're born into, but what we choose to build. Lucas raised his juice cup solemnly. Daddy sent Tristan to us. That makes him a miracle.